So what even goes into creating an event like this?
You know, with a project like this, we actually start. So tomorrow we're going to start working on Free Comic Book Day. As soon as Free Comic Book Day is done, we start working on this event. So we put out applications that people can sign up that we have never met.
Yeah.
We're searching for people. We're talking to people. And it literally takes the 6 months leading up to this to make it exactly what we want.
All right, guys, we're back in another interview here at Empire's Comics Vault Creative Women MiniCon 2016, and we're here with the lovely Jen. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
So last year I saw you did not have this trippy art.
No.
This is, Ben was telling me how trippy it was. It looked like you're actually looking into a pond.
Yes.
What inspired this?
Well, there's, looking on Pinterest and Facebook, there's an artist in Japan who he created this art form of painting the fish in layers of resin. And I, for the longest time, just adored it. And finally I told myself I'm going to learn how to do it.
So how do you do it?
You just take resin, which is a 2-part epoxy, clear epoxy, and you mix them together and it hardens. So I just do layers of that, and in between the layers I'll paint the fish or I'll add plants and stuff, and just continue doing that until it creates a nice little dimension to it.
That is so trippy.
And I get all of my dishes from thrift shops so that I can upcycle, I can give them new life.
So Crystal is still thumbing through your art pieces, and that's because they're amazing.
Yay!
What goes into making them? You gotta give me a little more insight here.
My mood. So if I'm really, feeling happy and bubbly, then you're gonna get, my brush is gonna pee rainbows all over the paper. If I'm feeling a little moody and creepy, then you're probably gonna get something a little bit darker and creepy and twisted. But in general, I think it's I like to draw happy things and cute things and stuff. And then sometimes you'll get a little bit of creepy twist in there. And I just love stories and fantasy and fairy tales and whimsy, so that's usually all of my pieces have a little bit of that. Or
you guys have been doing different art styles for a while. If someone's trying to break into the art or comics or even trying to follow their dreams, what kind of advice would you give them?
To not give up, because if somebody tells you no, it's easy to get discouraged, or somebody doesn't like your stuff, but you just got to keep trying, because there's going to be somebody that likes it.
Yeah, find a nice supportive community, because I think I wouldn't have started, or I wouldn't have kept drawing and kept painting if I hadn't met people like Molly, because we met last year in October during the Drawloween Challenge, and we both, oddly enough, happened to subscribe to one of those blind box art boxes, art snacks, and they send you a blind box of art samples, and your challenge is to create a piece of art using everything that's in the box. So I found her via that hashtag and commented on her stuff, and then we just started commenting back and forth, and
Realized we lived near each other.
yeah, realized creepily that we lived around the corner from each other, and then we made a lot of art friends on the Instagram community, and just having that positive, encouragement from other people is what kept me painting, because the year before my paintings were not so good, and I didn't get hardly any comments, so I was just like, so I stopped doing it. But it by doing it every day, it really changes the quality of what you do, and then people notice that you're caring more, and then you care more, and then the community is what's important, I think.
Got it.
Yeah.
So one last question. 2017 is coming on the horizon. What are you guys working on that we can look forward to? Any exclusives that we can maybe be the first to report on?
Well, I am trying to make more sophisticated needle felts. I don't want to totally, in case I can't pull it off, I don't want to say exactly what it is.
Don't wave the needle around.
But you have, speaking into existence is the first part of creating, though.
But I do want to make more sophisticated, not just so cute. I want to try to make a little more advanced, sophisticated needle felt sculpture.
Yeah.
And hey, she's going to get to have a month on the wall here at Empire Comics Vault. And yeah, me too. So we're going to each have a month. And so we'll prep up some art for that so you guys can come see that. And
Awesome. Do you know what month you guys are doing?
I think I'm doing March and she's doing April.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got some time to get some more
Yeah,
pieces
so
done.
build up a nice, big collection.
Yes, Caravaggio has worked his way into the world of adult coloring books.
How'd you pull that off?
I sat down and did a lot of drawing. So I replicated his paintings. So I sat down and penciled them, scanned them, inked them, made sure every line was perfect, blew these drawing ups to 4,000% to make
Wow.
sure that every single line touched another line, and then that came out of it.
Was there any copyright things you have to go through hurdle-wise?
No, because he actually died in 1610, so all of his paintings are public domain.
Awesome. Don't you love that?
Yeah, it was, and I think he would give me permission to do it anyway, since I've devoted my entire academic and artistic life to him.
Yes, because you are a teacher.
I am a teacher, yes.
So where do you find time between being an educator, being a creator? Where do you find the time?
I don't sleep. And if
That's
I do,
a
it's
secret.
very little. It's I try to go to bed and it just knocks on me and wakes me up and I just go and I
Do you
have
think
to
his
go.
ghost is haunting you and inspiring you to keep working on his
Oh,
stuff?
I know he is, because in the middle of that, I'm also writing a novel. Well, I finished my novel, now I'm editing, and I just decided to become a student again because apparently all of the degrees I have aren't enough.
Oh, because you need 1,000 more.
I do. So, yeah.
So, the last time we talked, I think it was about Free Comic Book Days when we last talked about the comic. What has happened since May?
Oh my goodness, so much. So I finished my novel, I finished my academic manuscript, which is the nonfiction side of his life. I have 2 brand new issues. I did an extended release of issue 1 that I've bundled with everything, so those compilation of those 5 issues is in a graphic novel now that I'm going to be releasing for Christmas. And
Just
then I
in
have
time for the holidays?
Absolutely. I know how to market. And then I have the 2 coloring books as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've also went to Malta for 3.5 weeks to go study him as well.
Doesn't
because he
hurt
was
to
a
go
knight.
over
So,
there and
I
just
had to
hang
go
out.
to Malta for a little while.
It's work related,
Yeah,
right?
it's a business expense.
Tina, we're here with,
Arlo Disarray. And
also known as the creator of Nipples on a Toy.
Nipples on Toys.
So, explain that slogan, Nipples on Toys.
Well, some of my toys have nipples, and it just seemed fitting for the whole rejected toys theme that Nipples on Toys just kind of go with that odd theme.
Very Joe Schumacher-ish.
Yes, the
So,
nipples need to
what
be
goes
there.
into creating your toys and just from concept to final piece? What goes into creating them?
Honestly, most of the time when I start, I don't even know where I'm going with anything. I usually start by either sculpting the mouth or painting a set of eyes, and then I test different materials and just until I feel it, and then I go, okay, now what shape are you going to be? What is your personality going to be like? What's this going to be like? What kind of limbs will you have? And it just kind of slowly turns into whatever they turn into. But 99% of the time I don't have a direction that I'm going when I start.
Yeah.
I just kind of find it and then I go with it once I get in there.
So the pieces that you put on, are these pieces that you own, or do you go out and actually find them and create with them? Or how is it, like I know these are pine trees.
The pine trees I didn't make. I bought these from a craft store because I had no idea how I would make tiny little pine trees like that. But everything else I made. I made these icicles out of hot glue and plastic. I made the nose, the eyes, the mouth, nipples, everything, and then I hand stitched. I don't own a sewing machine. Literally everything is hand stitched. So this guy took a ridiculous amount of time to
I
sew
would bet, right?
because of the size. So yeah, definitely a lot goes into these guys for me.
Going to a bigger, broader picture, community building, you're really good at this. The Sacramento community is blossoming right now.
Oh, it's amazing.
What kind of thing? What do you attribute that to? Is it because the events we're having, or is it that more people are being more aware? Why do you think we're in Sacramento, especially, we're growing in our community of artists and creators?
You know, in Sacramento, it seems to be huge. Like, we're not that. I mean, we're a big city, but the sheer amount of stores, the sheer amount of people creating, it maintaining that, it's incredible. I think a lot of it is, one, there's a lot more attention brought to it right now.
Yeah.
You know, the cons are getting bigger. People who've never read a comic book or aren't even interested in this kind of stuff, they're getting brought in by mass media,
True.
And with events like this and SACCon and things like that, where they're getting a chance to showcase new talent, people are just really becoming aware of it and getting interested. Because like we've seen a ton of new people here today that I have not seen through the door. I've watched them walk out with bags of stuff.
Yeah,
so I love
awesome.
it, and that means that they'll come back too.
Exactly. So on behalf of everybody in the community, I just want to say thank you so much for always being the pillar of comic and community events that you are, because I feel like very few people do what you do, and
Thank you, sir.
not
Thank you.
anyone does the way you do it.
Well, thank you. I mean,
And-
the big thing that we try to do is Sacramento itself. There's so much going on here. We really want people to see it, and I want each and every one of these ladies to do really well.
You're doing a great job of it. Every time you come to one of your events, you see different people. You see excitement. The community keeps growing every time I come to these events.
It does. It's
So
great.
on behalf of anybody and everybody watching, I want to say thank you for always doing this, because definitely made an improvement here.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank
I've
you.
seen the positive, reinforcement you've been putting out, getting people actually to do their things and inspiring others. And I think that's one of the best things I can ever have anyone do. What you're doing an amazing job at. So always thank you, Ben.
Thank you very much, and thank you guys for always being a part of it.